The alley was dark, lit only by a flickering street lamp. Rain poured, each drop exploding against the pavement like a tiny hammer blow. The man huddled deeper into his thin jacket, shivering. He felt utterly alone, lost in a maze of despair. This was his life now, stripped bare of hope. His name, once spoken with pride, was now just a whisper in his own mind. He had known success, had tasted the sweetness of victory. Now, he was just another shadow swallowed by the city. Failure clung to him like a shroud. The man closed his eyes, remembering brighter days. The warmth of love, the thrill of achievement. All faded memories now. He had fallen so far, the climb back up seemed impossible. It had been a slow, agonizing descent. First, the business deal had gone sour, wiping away his savings. Then, the bank had foreclosed on his home, the place where he had built a family, a life. Friends, once plentiful, had disappeared. Their promises of support had evaporated like mist in the morning sun. He was on his own, adrift in a sea of indifference. Each day brought fresh humiliation. He stood in line at the soup kitchen, shame burning in his throat. He slept in shelters, surrounded by the misfortunes of others, the air thick with despair. One day, rummaging through a box of donated clothes, his fingers brushed against something hard. It was an unexpected sensation amidst the soft fabrics and worn-out garments. His curiosity was instantly piqued, and he carefully navigated through the layers of clothing to uncover the source of the mystery. He pulled it out, a small leather-bound book. The cover was cracked and aged, hinting at the many years it had seen. It felt significant, as if it held secrets waiting to be discovered. It was worn, its pages filled with handwritten notes. The ink had faded in places, but the words were still legible, each stroke of the pen telling a story of its own. The book seemed to whisper tales of the past, inviting him to delve deeper. Curiosity piqued. He sat down on a rickety cot and opened the book. The cot creaked under his weight, but he paid no mind. His focus was entirely on the book, eager to uncover the stories within. It was a journal, filled with stories of struggle and triumph, of failures and comebacks. Each entry was a window into the life of someone who had faced immense challenges and yet found the strength to persevere. The words, penned in elegant script, spoke of hope in the face of adversity. They were more than just stories. They were lessons, reminders that even in the darkest times, there is always a glimmer of light. The man felt a flicker of something warm in his chest. It was a feeling he hadn't experienced in a long time, a sense of connection, of understanding. The journal's words resonated deeply with him, touching parts of his soul he thought had long been numb. He spent the rest of the day absorbed in the journal, each story a lifeline pulling him back from the abyss. The hours flew by unnoticed as he lost himself in the tales of resilience and hope. He didn't know who wrote it, but their words resonated deep within him, igniting a spark he thought was lost forever. The journal had become a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest moments there is always a chance for a new beginning. The next morning, he woke with a new resolve. He would fight. He would claw his way back from the brink. He started small, taking on odd jobs, offering to help at the shelter. One day, while cleaning a park, he met an elderly woman struggling with her groceries. He rushed to help her, his own troubles momentarily forgotten. The woman, her eyes twinkling with warmth, thanked him profusely. Later that week, he ran into her again, this time at the library. She introduced herself as Mrs. Johnson and learned of his situation. Mrs. Johnson, it turned out, ran a small bakery. She offered him a job, a chance to learn a new trade, to rebuild his life. He threw himself into his work, his hands kneading dough, shaping loaves. The aroma of baking bread filled him with a sense of purpose. He learned quickly, his natural talent blossoming under Mrs. Johnson's guidance. Word spread about the delicious bread made by the man with calloused hands and a kind smile. The bakery thrived. He was no longer defined by his past failures, but by his dedication, his resilience. He rented a small apartment, a place of his own. He started saving, dreaming of a future where he could stand tall again, not just survive, but thrive. The journal, his constant companion, reminded him that even in the darkest of times, hope could blossom. Section 6. A light for others. As his own life found its footing, he made a point of helping others at the shelter. He knew firsthand the struggles they faced, the darkness that could envelop one's soul. But he also knew the power of a helping hand, a kind word, and a shared story. He became a mentor, a guide, someone they could look up to and trust. He shared his story, his voice strong and steady, his eyes shining with hard-won wisdom. His journey from despair to hope was not just a tale of survival, but a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Each word he spoke was a beacon, lighting the way for those still lost in the shadows. He became a beacon of hope, proof that even from the ashes of despair one could rise again. His presence was a constant reminder that no matter how dark the night, the dawn would always come. He stood tall, a symbol of strength and perseverance, inspiring others to find their own paths to the light. He organized workshops at the shelter, teaching baking skills, sharing his knowledge. These sessions were more than just lessons in cooking. They were opportunities for connection, for building community. He watched as the participants, once strangers, began to bond over shared experiences and newfound skills. He saw the spark of hope ignite in their eyes, the same spark that the journal had ignited in him. It was a beautiful, transformative moment, seeing the light return to eyes that had once been dulled by hardship. He knew then that his efforts were making a real difference, that he was helping to change lives. He realized that his journey, his victory, wasn't just his own. It was a shared triumph, a collective rise from the depths. Every person he helped, every life he touched, was a part of this greater story. He understood that his role was not just to lead, but to walk alongside them, to be a part of their journey as much as they were a part of his. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit that resided in all of us, a spirit that refused to be extinguished even in the face of overwhelming odds. Together, they stood as a testament to resilience, to the power of community and the unbreakable bonds that form when people come together to lift each other up. This was their story, a story of hope, strength, and the enduring light that shines within us all. Section 7. The Ripple Effect. The impact of his transformation went beyond the shelter walls. It was as if a single drop had fallen into a still pond, sending ripples far and wide. The once desolate streets now buzzed with a renewed sense of hope and purpose. People who knew him from his days of struggle, those who had shared in his hardships, began to see the world differently. They gathered in neon-lit bars, reminiscing about the past and flipping through old photo albums. They found inspiration in his journey. Those who had witnessed his downfall, who had seen him at his lowest, now saw a beacon of resilience. The dark alleys and lonely corners where he once wandered aimlessly were now places of reflection and growth. They now saw him in a new light, a symbol of transformation. His journey from despair to determination was mirrored in the neon reflections that danced on the faces of those who watched him walk confidently through the futuristic city. His story became a whispered inspiration, shared in hushed tones in cyberpunk cafes and neon-lit gatherings. It was a tale that reminded everyone that even in the darkest times, there was a glimmer of hope. A reminder that even when all seemed lost, there was always a way back. The skyline at dusk, with its myriad of neon lights, symbolized the endless possibilities that lay ahead. There was always a way back. Each step he took down the neon-lit alley was a testament to his unwavering determination. The sunrise over the futuristic cityscape heralded a new beginning, not just for him, but for everyone who believed in second chances. The small acts of kindness, the gestures that seemed insignificant began to add up. A meal shared, a kind word spoken, these were the building blocks of a community reborn. The chance encounter with a kind stranger, the unexpected moments of connection, all played a part. In the neon-lit streets and cyberpunk cafes, new friendships were forged, and old wounds began to heal. The discovery of a forgotten journal, a relic from a time long past, brought with it stories of hope and perseverance. As hands carefully opened the vintage book, the words within reignited a spark in the hearts of those who read them. All these seemingly insignificant events had converged to create a ripple effect, a wave of change that spread through the city. Each small moment, each act of kindness, interconnected to form a tapestry of transformation, changing not just his life but the lives of those around him. The smiles amidst the neon lights, the camaraderie in the futuristic settings, all bore testament to the power of collective hope and resilience. The lives of those around him were touched in ways they never imagined. celebrations erupted in the neon-lit streets and inspiration flowed freely among the people. He understood that life was a tapestry woven with threads of joy and sorrow, of triumph and failure. Each thread, no matter how dark, added to the richness of the whole. Woven with threads of joy and sorrow, of triumph and failure. The tapestry of life was a complex and beautiful creation, where every experience, every emotion played a crucial role. It was in the darkest of threads that the brightest colors shone most brilliantly. The contrast of neon lights against the dark alleys symbolized the beauty that emerged from adversity, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there was light. Section 8. Destined for victory. We are all destined for victory, even when the path seems shrouded in darkness. It is in our struggles that we discover our true strength, our capacity for resilience, our unwavering spirit. Every challenge we overcome, every obstacle we surmount, adds another layer to the depth of our character, making us stronger, wiser, more compassionate. Never underestimate the power of small actions, of a kind word, a helping hand, a moment of shared humanity. These seemingly insignificant gestures can be the catalyst for extraordinary change, igniting hope where there was once only despair. Section 9. Your time to rise. So if you find yourself facing seemingly insurmountable odds, remember the man in the rain-soaked alley. Remember the power of a single spark to ignite a fire that can illuminate even the darkest of nights. Your victory awaits. Rise, embrace the challenges, and claim the destiny that is rightfully yours.